You know what we're good at? We're good at marketing. We'll just take a page out of the Klaviyo playbook and launch a marketing agency off this thing.
In order to become a truly profitable company, you have to cut back somewhere, but are they going to be able to cut back?
Are we good at Facebook ads? Are we good at Meta ads? Are we good at Google ads? I don't even know. What's up? Welcome back to Well Informed, the show where we don't give business advice, but we do talk about liquid death like they're paying us. Ethan, what are we talking about today?
All right, so today we're going to talk about liquid death raising money, but not before Dude Wipes weighs in, maybe. And then we're going to talk about the potential TikTok ban here in the US. After that, we're going to talk about Bonobos and a recent ad they did that stirred up some commotion from the target customer. And then finally, we're going to talk about Temu, and we're going to explore some of our favorite products on the platform.
We're going to shop like billionaires. All right.
Oh, yeah.
First up, liquid death. Give me the news.
Right, so first up, this past week, Liquid Death announced a recent $67 million fundraising round, and that equates to around a $1.4 billion valuation, which over doubles their valuation from 2022. A lot of people are up in air about this. They're talking about, like, is Liquid Death the next huge brand? Are they overvalued? This is just a consumer packaged goods company, but, like, there's so much hype around the marketing. I have some notes here. The last thing I want to say before I let you jump into it, John, is that they were founded in 2019, but their revenue in 2021 was 45 million. In 2022, it was 130 million. And in 2023, it was 263 million. But their total funding was also around 260 million. So there's a lot to take in here, but What were your initial impressions when seeing all of this news?
My very first question to you, Ethan, and this is good because I've seen the news, but I don't know the backgrounds on their previous raises and stuff like that. So I'm going to get a lot of this for the first time. So my first question to you is, have they ever had a profitable year?
They have not ever had a profitable year, but I was reading through the reports around this and they are expected to become profitable this year. No idea if it's guaranteed, but yes, to this point, not profitable.
Yeah. So you tell me in 2023, these dudes did $263 million in sales and they couldn't manage to eke out a profit. Like that's just a lot of cost. And not a lot of that is their product because their markups are really high. I mean, it's canned water. So the markups on this are incredibly high to be doing $263 million in revenue and not turning a profit. To me, this is my concern if I'm an investor. And clearly they've gotten plenty of investors on board. This is my concern as an investor is they've clearly found product market fit and they've found something that scales. But can you do funny with more creative constraint? Creativity loves constraints, and I would love for Liquid Death to be showing more constraint. Usually we're big Liquid Death fans, so I'm going to try and maybe play the opposite here a little bit. Unless you're also going to do it, then I'm going to get on Team LD.
Right, and that's my biggest takeaway as well is, yes, they've grown very fast in just, I guess it's around in 4 or 5 years now. But it seems like they've had to spend so much to get to that point. And their playbook is these crazy out-of-the-box marketing type things. So it's like, in order to become a truly profitable company, you have to cut back somewhere. But, like, if the brand relies on that, are they going to be able to cut back? And then another thing I want to point out is I was watching a video. It was Liquid Death CEO went on one of the major news platforms and he was talking about this and he was talking about their mission.
Wasn't their mission to like annihilate thirst or kill thirst or something like that?
So that was what I would have guessed.
Face into the ground and grind it around or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that was what I would have guessed. And I remember their mission early on was death to plastic bottles. Their mission that he expressed here was to be a healthy beverage platform and make good marketing. Like, because good marketing right now is typically for unhealthy things. He's like, we want to make a healthy beverage platform. And he's like, our differentiator is the good marketing. And then he started talking about how they have water and sparkling water. And then they have what he calls like healthy sodas, which is really just water with some flavor and some sugar from agave. But like, when I heard him talk about this was a very different positioning for Liquid Death than I've ever heard before. And it's almost like I don't know, it feels like a step away from what they truly
It
are.
feels like he's like, hey, you know what we're good at? We're good at marketing. Why don't we just have a marketing? We'll just take a page out of the Klaviyo playbook, just launch a marketing agency off this thing, and just market everybody else's healthy products or something like that. That's what it feels like when he says a platform for marketing, good marketing for healthy products. Is are you going to launch all those products, or are you going to like bring all of those products into your platform? I don't know. It also is
Right.
like one of those things where, you know, like sometimes CEOs give keynotes or like interviews, and I'm like, okay, everything you just said, like make it dumber. What's the actual thing that you're like? Our mission is to just do super cool stuff, like and tell people about water. Like, just what is it that you're doing? Like making it a
Right.
platform for marketing healthy products is just like, why are we? It's too much.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And the Dude Wipes CEO, I think he's the CEO. His LinkedIn title is Chief Executive Dude.
Mm,
But he had some
CBD,
thoughts about
right?
this. He posted a LinkedIn post and he didn't refer to Liquid Death specifically. He just referred to a anonymous
He
CPG brand.
he
It's
sub
pretty
Yeah, he
yeah.
subtweeted him, whatever that is on LinkedIn. What's it called when you subtweet somebody on LinkedIn?
It, it's
You sub you
you
sub in them.
you sub post,
You
you subbed in, you subbed
sub
in.
in them. I don't like that. Sublink them, I guess.
You sub link them.
What's it
I
even
like
called on
that
X? You
one.
sub X them now. I don't know.
But
But he did that, whatever that is.
right, he did that. And some of the things that he said, I want to read. So he said, why do we celebrate when a CPG brand raises hundreds of millions of dollars and only turns into hundreds of millions of sales? And then there's a puke face.
Yeah.
People talk about their huge valuation and the power of brand money face. But to me, it's a shitty VC pump and dump scheme ready to topple at any moment with a little poop emoji. And then he points out that they're not profitable yet. So some of the things that we said early on, and I,
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say big thanks for reading aloud the emojis that he uses.
you like that?
Yeah, I enjoy that. That's how I'm gonna read text from now on. Like, you okay? Laughy face, crying face, heart, um, hand heart. I this is a bad look. They were so proud about posting about winning the auction because I mean
Mhm.
to take people back, if they didn't watch this earlier, Liquid Death auctioned off space on the side of their boxes during the Super Bowl. So their whole angle was like, you could spend 7 million on a Super Bowl ad, or you could bid on the side of our boxes on eBay. And it ended up selling for like 350,000 or something. That was a closing bid. And Dude Wipes, or Sean from Dude Wipes, the CED, this chief executive dude from Dude Wipes, said, "Hey, we won." He was all excited about it. They mocked up an ad for it, and then Liquid Death didn't confirm it, and later said that Coinbase actually won, and Coinbase bid off platform because they were not able to bid on platform. Which would suck if you were Liquid Death. Like, dude, it was on eBay. Like, I didn't get a chance to
Mhm.
outbid Coinbase. It was on eBay. So to me, anybody who's been following along, which maybe just a small percentage of people, but for anybody who's been following along, this is a bad look. Of all the people that like, you should have just. This is just the one you shouldn't have sub posted, you know, or you should
Right.
have sub posted
Right.
this from your burner. Do you have a burner LinkedIn, Sean? Because that's where you should have sub posted this from.
You should
Uh,
have. You should have.
yeah. Look, you know what? Now that Sean's subtweeting him, sub posting him, he's sub linking him. I'm on Team LD now. I think they're going to pull it off. I'm going to flip. I'm going to flip flop because nobody's on LD's side here. So I'm going. Yeah, LD's going to do it. They're basically a tech company that sells water.
All right. So Liquid Death is a food and beverage company. John, do you ever wonder like what the KPIs of a food and beverage company compared to something like health and beauty?
I believe my hypothesis is that it's actually harder and less common for food and beverage companies to acquire customers profitably than it is in what Dude Wipes would be in, which would probably be health and beauty.
I'm going to share my screen here because we recently
Because this is our
today.
shill. This is our thrill to shill.
This is our This is our like what do we call it? Like our little
Yeah,
plug something
our
like
whale and chill. I don't know, man.
that.
But
But so
whatever whales shill the most, that's what we are right now.
that's what we are right
But it's
now
actually a pretty cool
doing.
tool. It's Trends by Triple Whale dropped
Yep.
today as we're recording this, right?
Exactly. So this is our new free tool. It is free for all e-commerce brands, not just customers. Customers will see it in their app. It replaces a previous benchmarking tool with a tool with more data, more ways to filter, more ways to view the data. But we wanted to make this data accessible to everybody, accessible to every brand. And so
So
now it's a way to see these key
yeah,
metrics in real time.
basically, if you're Liquid Death and you're a food and beverage brand and you want to go to trends and you want to be like, hey, are we good at Facebook ads? Are we good at Meta ads? Are we good at Google ads? I don't even know. You want to go to
Mm-hmm.
trends, you can be like, okay, how good do other food and beverage brands do on Meta on a CPA? How good are their CPAs? And
Exactly.
in the last looks like 2 weeks, 1 week, Meta CPAs for food and beverage brands are $46.59. So if you're a food and beverage brand, you're in that range, you are normal. You can filter by AOV and some different things like that. But yeah, that's the average for AOV, annual revenue. But that's the average for food and beverage brands. And I would bet that across the whole gambit of food and beverage brands, that's pretty close to break even, meaning they'd be losing money on that first purchase after they pay for product, shipping, handling. Shipping and handling is very expensive in food and
Mm-hmm.
bev.
And when we compare that to, so let's say a health and beauty company, so we can go here, switch the industry to health and beauty, let it update, we see that that CPA is significantly lower.
Pow, 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 pow. I knew it. Yeah, I mean, look, there's who knows what the AOV. We don't have AOVs pulled in here, or average order values pulled in here, but food and beverage brand average order value probably somewhere in the 40, 50, maybe $60 range. Health and beauty maybe a little bit lower, but probably in a similar range. Health and beauty just has better acquisition unit economics as an industry from my observation, right? Like you're able to acquire
Mm-hmm.
profitably more often with a product like Dude Wipes than you are with a product where, you're selling a drink in a can.
Exactly, exactly. And this tool too is, so it's not just Facebook. We also have Google, TikTok, and then we have Blended, which includes, as you can see down here,
Hey,
averaged out values from all the other major channels. So Bing, Twitter, Amazon, Pinterest, Snapchat,
yep,
all of that into one, essentially to give you that holistic
yep.
view.
So all in health and beauty is 25.62 across all the channels.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. All right.
Amazing.
So that's enough about trends for now. We'll link that in the show notes. Feel free to check it out more.
It's free.
Again, totally free tool. But we mentioned TikTok is on here, and
Well,
I think
tiki-taki.
TikTok. There's been some hot news about TikTok.
People are TikToking about TikTok this week. I got to do dad jokes because we try not to swear so much on this. Yeah, the Congress in the U.S. If you're not a USA listener, you might be like, "What?" In the U.S., Congress passed a bill to ban TikTok in the United States if they didn't divest. Divest is just a fancy word for sell. That bill now has to, and it was like overwhelming. There was only 65 votes against it, and I can't remember how many Congress people there are. This because government was a long time ago for me, but it's like 500 or something like that.
Right.
So
Right.
like it was like 400 something to 65. This is like this is the first bipartisan thing that we've all agreed. Like everybody agrees TikTok is bad. All right, which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Glad we're together on something. So Congress voted it. Senate has to vote on it now. With that kind of bipartisan support, seems unlikely. Most people think it seems unlikely the Senate would not pass it. Meaning, in order for it not to pass, the president would have to veto it, which also seems unlikely. So TikTok will be banned unless they divest. And big shout out to producer Allie behind the scenes telling me that there are 535 Congress people in the United States. So
Great.
yeah, basically TikTok will probably have to sell or be banned in the US. Ethan, your thoughts? Do you think TikTok's going to get banned? Do you think they're going to be like just dogmatic and not sell?
So I read a little bit more into this prior to the episode as well to be well informed. That wasn't planned. But so I looked into the reasons behind this bill, and it sounds like there is concerns about national security,
Right.
either related to two things. So the first one is Chinese access to American data, which makes sense. Understand that concern. Or potential influence that Chinese might assert over the algorithm of the popular app, basically manipulating the algorithm and in like almost subliminally
Yeah.
pushing out agendas.
Right. Yeah. So I think there's been investigations or audits into this. Like, there's a Chinese version of TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like educational content and content that's like good for you, helps you learn things. Uh, and then there's the US version of TikTok, and people watch literally other humans cut avocados or do dances. So let's make it clear: the American content is better. Just like actual soda is better than Olipop, but the Chinese content's probably a little bit better for you. So, a couple concerns here. Obviously, if this company does control algorithms, then there is concerns that maybe there would be a world where they start spreading more kind of propaganda in the US algorithm.
Right.
And then the other thing here is that they're basically just like brain deading our children so China can rule the world,
Right.
which is this is crazy that that's a bipartisan concern, but it is. And yeah, no, I'm reporting the news. I'm just a guy reporting.
Yeah, and I actually, when I was looking into this more, I saw a TikTok from the founder of TikTok that had been posted
Right. Okay.
talking about this issue, and his
Is a TikTok from the founder of TikTok talking?
exactly.
Nice.
This kind of reminds me of the what is it, the browser company when we talked about
Yeah.
that.
Right.
But so I watched it, and he said, if TikTok gets banned, that's more power for just a handful of other platforms, basically alluding to the increase in power for Meta, probably
Yeah.
specifically, and some of the other major social media platforms. And then he said, billions of dollars out of the pockets of small businesses and creators and 300,000 jobs at risk. And then he says, TikTok is a platform for free expression. They want to take that away. We will not stop fighting for you, the users. And then he at the end he talks about how this could be a violation of the U.S. constitutional rights, which is what people are talking
Let me
about.
just shortcut this and say, let's just assume that the US government can kind of just do whatever it wants here. And it can say, like, yeah, you have no rights. You're not a US based company. Uh, I think they're going to have to divest, but I think basically where we're going to land here, if I'm going to just guess where we're going to land in this very
Mm-hmm.
anticlimactic place
Mm-hmm.
where TikTok sells off some relatively small piece of the company that's just like a token. They sell off some token piece of the company to a US company, and the government says, "Yeah, good, we got him. Good job, guys." And
Yeah,
then we just move on, just so we can kind of like get out of it, so to speak. So yeah, I think that's kind of what's going to happen.
I agree. I don't see a world where TikTok, from the user perspective, changes significantly.
Yeah,
Like you said, something might happen
no,
behind the scenes that makes people feel good, or does make the
we
platform
look, we're
safer. But
us Americans, we're going to keep drinking that full fat, full sugar, bad for you soda, and we're going to keep watching the brain dead, crappy TikTok content. And meanwhile, people in China are going to get better at math and science and be healthier.
you heard it here first.
All right. Next up, I think. Oh, you got our next topic. I'm just looking at
I
everything.
got it. Here it is. So
Bono, Bonobos,
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 Bonobos.
catching heat because they ran an ad recently for their golf line of apparel. And in the ad, it's a bunch of, I guess we could say, like either teenagers or young adults
Yeah, it's like young dudes.
whipping around a golf cart, doing fun stuff. It's about living free. And then they drive the golf cart on the putting green and park it on a putting green.
Uh huh.
And golfers, the target market for this ad,
Yeah.
picked up on this instantly, and
Because do
they were
you
not
park
happy.
golf carts on putting greens, Ethan?
No, you do not drive golf carts near putting greens.
You keep them
There's
very far away from the putting green because the green is like that grass is super sensitive. Anyone who's not a golfer, that grass is super sensitive. And so like you barely walk on a putting green, man. You got to
yeah,
tiptoe.
yeah.
You got to like get down on all fours, use your fingers and like crawl kind of to even go on the putting green.
Hmm.
So, yeah, pretty bad look. I mean, that much production in the ad. First of all, I think the bad look really isn't necessarily that they released this. It is that they released this, but the fact that they released it means they did it. And so
Right.
golfers saw this and were like, "Oh, you shot this at some course somewhere and effed up their putting green. Screw you." And yeah, I mean, not a great look for Bonobos.
Bonobos. I think it's a huge miss. They were trying to be cool and edgy, and I think they were trying to catch on to the fact that like golf is going through a moment right now.
It is.
Golf is becoming more stylish. Golf is changing. Golf is becoming more casual. But there's a weird thing that all golfers know is that like when you're on the golf course, there's this weird like
There's some
respect and etiquette that you have towards the golf course that like in a lot of these reviews that were bashing this video that they're like cool golfers wearing bucket hats stylish and they're like you don't do this
yeah.
like huge miss. You didn't talk to the target customer, you didn't use them at all, you didn't run this by them.
Yeah.
Like this just for anybody that's a true golfer, a true target customer, they just can see
There's
how
not a person at Bonobos who golfs who could say, hey, that's you. I can't believe you guys did that, but definitely don't tell anybody. Delete that footage right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a miss. I think probably won't be too damaging. They took it down pretty quickly. And we're like one of the reasons we wanted to surface this because we're one of the few that actually caught this and are surfacing it. So it doesn't seem like it's a big wildfire for
it.
them.
It hasn't made it beyond just like a few of the niche golf circles. So we thought it was worth discussing. But there's one last fact I want to call out related to this that I discovered.
Hit it.
Bonobos was bought in 2017 for $310 million. Who were they bought by?
Was it Temu?
It was Walmart.
Okay.
Actually.
Walmart bought Bonobos. Okay. So, I mean, this is like, do you know what that just brought to mind when you said that? Was that
What?
the Anheuser-Busch company or Bud Light was bought by the Anheuser-Busch company, which is not a US-based company, whereas Budweiser and Bud Light before was a US-based company. And then that led to their sort of snafu, last year. Maybe that had something to do with it where they kind of had a pretty big miss on an influencer campaign, a pretty big like target market miss on an influencer campaign. And yeah, I think if you're going to acquire a company, you better have some brand champions that are going to head it up.
Totally.
Bonobos is already out though. What the founders are like, hey, I'm clean. Speaking of cheap companies buying, you like my transition here? Speaking of cheap companies buying,
I love it. I love it.
Let's talk about cheap product companies that buy Super Bowl ads. Do any companies come to mind, Ethan?
There was one, I think, that ran 4 Super Bowl ads, and was it
By
called?
4, do you mean 400?
400. They might have had the biggest Super Bowl budget of all time, but I'm not going to say the name because I don't even know how to pronounce it.
I mean, they were pretty clear in the ad. It's Temu. So you're supposed to say twice. So it's
not
Temu.
Temu.
Temu. We're going to do a fun segment now. The fun segment is we're going to pitch each other some Temu products.
Yes.
We're going to rate them. So you're going to pitch me a product. I'm going to rate it on what level, what scale, 1 out of 10 would try. And I'm going to pitch you a product from Temu, and you're going to rate it 1 out of 10 would try. You want to go first?
We've been talking about golf a lot this episode.
Uh-huh.
I'm super into golf lately. Golf's top of mind. So I wanted to research what I could buy related to the golf area on Temu. So I started looking at golf clubs.
Got to replace all that Bonobo stuff, now that they...
Exactly. I wasn't looking for any golf carts on greens, but speaking of greens, I was looking at putters specifically because I really need a new putter. And a putter can cost anywhere from $150 to $500+ for the crazy ones. I found a great putter for $61.48.
Nice.
And I'm going to read you what it's called. One Piece Creative Golf Putter. Funny professional putter for right hand for men. All right, here we go.
One piece.
So
it is a one piece creative.
It's one piece, not a 2-piece.
Nice.
Putter.
Okay, let me see it.
Here it is.
It is. That is creative. So just describing what I'm looking at here, it's a putter where like the head of the golf club is a poop emoji. It's creative. 61.48 for that. I think, look, I'm an awful golfer. The only way I'm a win around is to throw other people off their game. So I think I'm kind of for, like, maybe my whole club set would be like this. Like I'd have a hockey stick in there and like a poop emoji putter and, maybe a baseball bat, maybe just a stick that I found, like a tree branch that I found. And that'd just be my move. Ooh, we got a video. Click play on that. Oh yeah. It just shows us. Okay. So it's the normal putter size. Oh, this is just straight up a putter with a poop emoji as the head. This is fun.
Yep. Part of the reason why I think it's cool is that everybody a lot of people suck at putting. It's the hardest part of the game.
Right. Yeah.
But if
So
your
it
putter is worse than your putting, maybe it's
distracts people from
yeah,
your putting.
yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give the poop emoji, the One Piece creative putter, 7.8 out of 10 would try.
We'll take
And
that.
the
We'll
only
take
reason it's not higher is because I don't golf. So it's pretty good,
that. Fair
actually.
enough.
7.8 would try. Like, I might buy it for $60. I don't even golf. Pretty good. I might buy
Love
it
it.
just to put it in the background.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. What do you have for me?
All right, Ethan. I know you're a big in shape workout guy. I'm going to tell a little story here. I don't know if I told
Okay.
this one before, but we're going through the airport. Me and Ethan. We get stopped at security, as you do, and Ethan goes through with his freaking gold chain or ring or something
I think
on his chest.
it was this. Yeah.
He got his little chain on, didn't take it off, forgot how like metal detectors or scanners worked or something like that. So the TSA people have to pat him down, and the TSA guy's patting down his chest, and he's like, "Dang, bro, you're ripped. You're jacked up. What you doing? What are you taking?" He's asking him for fitness tips. Ethan wrote down like a workout plan, 12-week workout plan for him right there. So Ethan, I know you're an in shape fellow. You're a guy who appreciates a good workout.
Very, very true. And I will say that story is 99% true.
90,
Um,
100% true. None of that
the
is
only
embellished.
part that's false is I only wrote him a 10-week workout
So then
plan.
then he has to come back to you, and that's your upsell. You have to
Yes,
come back
that's
to you
the
for the
upsell. You have to pay extra for the 12-week. But
yep,
I gave it to you for free, John, because we do this together. But that's the only
yep. All
miss.
right. So since I know you're a big workout guy, I'm gonna get you something for your runs, dude. I know
All
sometimes
right.
you're out there on the runs. The it's wet outside, right? And maybe it's raining, maybe it's a little humid out, and you got some chafage, right? So you
Yeah.
need men's nipple covers. Waterproof, invisible, disposable nipple covers for men. Breathable, anti bump protection for running, sports, and daily wear. It's skin friendly. Here's a super jack guy with them on. Some of the reviews perfect. Love the feel and look. Happy I bought more. Friends say, "Where are your nipples?" Now they want some. Bob. My husband loves these. We will have to purchase more. They help prevent chafing when he wears certain sports fabrics, and they really flatten his nipples. Apparently, she's not into pointy nipples. He's very self conscious about his pointy nipples, and these help, right? So you don't want those nipples chafing. You don't want them rubbing on the t shirt. You don't want those nipples pointing out. You want nice, flat nipples for the ladies while you're running. So we got waterproof, invisible, disposable nipple covers. I thought about getting you the non-disposable ones, but nah, that's not going to work. We need the disposable anti-bump protection for running,
Yeah, I
sports,
don't.
and daily wear. You can wear these throughout the day, man. If they
Oh,
make
I
you
could
feel
wear them.
sexy,
Yeah, yeah,
these make you feel sexy. You wear them all day.
yeah. That's hilarious.
44
So
cents. 44 cents for this.
that's the part I wanted to point out. Is they're an incredible deal as well. I actually the only time I've had to do anything
Incredible deal.
like this.
Do you track the market for nipple covers?
Well, I'm comparing them in my head. You know what I'm comparing them to? Band-Aids, because
Oh,
I'm not cycling super actively right now, but a few years ago I was, and I was training for there's a 100-mile ride called Pelotonia for cancer in Columbus. I was training for that with my dad, and it was the day of the ride, and he's like, "Here, take these," and he gave me two Band-Aids, and I was like, "What's this for?"
he's
And
like
he's
for
like,
the
"You got to
nips,
put
bro.
these on your nipples because when you're riding for that long, the shirt rubbage." He's like, "It's just." She's like, "Trust me," and I
It's
was
the
like,
rubbage.
"Okay."
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, like you might have band-aids laying around. They're not made for this purpose, though. Band-aids are kind of expensive for a box. These are an incredible deal.
Great
So
buy.
a great buy. I get that. And I think I mean, this is honestly, John, what stands out to me about this is it relates to what we talked about a few weeks ago about taking an already proven product and positioning it for a new market. This is
Yeah.
basically a band-aid.
Right.
Proven product, that's what it's used for right now. But when you slightly change the structure of it, and market it towards a different market with slightly different positioning, it crushes. And I'm sure there's things like this in other areas too. But I
Yeah.
think this is a surprisingly very good idea. I'll give it, but a little funny, a little strange too. It's very very niche.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 would try. I think the kicker is like, so if I buy them, do I get these guys' body too? Because I wouldn't want my
Body sold separately.
yeah,
Body sold
body
separately.
sold separately, body earned through Ethan's 12-week workout program. Yeah, I wouldn't mind waking up in the morning and looking like those guys. I'll tell you that. No, it's a little tongue in cheek, but it's tongue in cheek because I actually have a running background and I know there's other products that are. This is a real problem for runners.
It is. It
Nipple
is.
chafage is no fun. You got the bloody nips. They
I
got the
am
bloody nips.
training
Nothing will make you
for.
want to stop running more.
I am training for a half marathon right now to run.
Dude, there you
Not
go.
until like later in the summertime, but this is honestly something I'll probably have
Make
to
sure you get the disposables. We don't want you to get in the
or we get the reusables, save the environment, throw them in the washer.
Yeah, they're like cloth. They're made out of baby seal skin, the reusables. I think that's it, man. I think we're like way past the deep end of the ocean here, and when we're talking about men's nipple covers. If you are an e-commerce brand and you want to know how you're doing, and want to be like, hey, are we good? Are we bad? Are we good at ads? Are we bad at ads? Should I fire my agency? Does my media buyer suck? Is he even working? Does he drink liquid death while he works? Because that's proven to increase ROAS. Then go check the Trends app. Link in the description for that. It's free. And that's all. Anything to add, Ethan?
Nope, that's it. You crushed it. We've been working hard on Trends app for several months, so we're super excited to launch it. And the more you use it, the more feedback you give to us on it, the more we'll be able to improve it over time. So we really care about your thoughts here. We want it to be valuable for you. That's it. That's the podcast, episode 7. We'll see you next week.
Bye.